I actually agree with you. I think there was a fair amount of substance in the debate on Thursday night. It could have been even more if you don't have the constraints that are always there in a debate. And one of the issues that all the candidates agreed on was defunding Planned Parenthood. But you went even further on Thursday, and I want to show that right here.
I think it's time to do something even more bold. I think the next president ought to invoke the 5th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution. Now that we clearly know that that baby inside the mother's womb is a person at the moment of conception.
The question is, what does that mean, invoking the 5th and the 14th Amendment? And there was a recent headline when you spoke back in Kansas, the Topeka Capital-Journal, where the headline said, Mike Huckabee, Republican presidential candidate, won't rule out employing U.S. troops, FBI, to stop abortion. Is that the fallout from invoking the 5th and the 14th Amendments?
Well, that whole idea about the troops and the FBI didn't come from me. Those weren't my words. That was something that the Rolling Stone reporter said. And we know how reliable Rolling Stone is as a journalistic tool. So what I'm saying is that the real issue here is not whether we're going to give money to Planned Parenthood. Yes, that's important. But the bigger issue is that unborn child a human being? Because if it is, then the 5th and 14th Amendment apply because we're dealing with personhood. So what does that mean, though, in
practice?
Well, it means that you guarantee due process under the 5th Amendment before you deprive someone of their life and liberty. It means under the 14th Amendment there's equal protection under the law. Exactly how that plays out is one of the ways we discover. What does it take for Americans to finally wake up to the fact that we are violating the constitutional rights of human beings? And in the past, presidents have employed many different ways to make sure that people's basic human rights are protected.
Would it mean calling in law enforcement to prevent abortions?
I think the bigger question is let's establish the personhood of the individual. Let's make sure that America comes to grips with that. George, we can't keep defending the loss of 60 million human lives over the past 42 years. We're not acting like a civilized people in the way in which abortion in its unrestricted fashion has continued. And even the politicians who pretend that they're not really for it, they're personally against it, they'll say things like, let's keep it safe, legal, and rare. It's not safe. I don't think it's legal. I think it violates the 5th and 14th Amendment rights of an unborn person. And it certainly isn't rare. It happens 4,000 times a day. That's hardly rare.